Hey everybody, this is Keith Gleason, host of Indie Comics Relay, creator of the Mighty Mascots, and promoter for the Plastic City Comic Con. And I'm here with another comic review. Before I get into that, just a reminder that Mighty Mascots number 10 triple size anniversary issue is still in demand on Indiegogo. The issue is coming along great. I hope to have the whole thing completed by the end of March. We'll see if that works out or not, but everything's moving on a steady pace. Artwork's coming in left and right, and I'm trying to letter here and there just to keep up with it. So hopefully we'll get there. And check out Plastic City Comic Con, our convention that's happening on August 23rd, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Admission is $10, kids 12 and under free parking. Best deal in New England and beyond. We have a lot of cool guests adding to the site. Every year we always have a handful of new ones and a bunch of returning ones. So it's always a good time. So check that out. Also, very excited. Dan Larson from the Secret Galaxy YouTube channel will be there this year. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So check out PlasticCityComicCon.com for guest updates and any other info you may need. All right, let's get into this week's comic review. This week I'm reviewing Silverhawks #1. Now, this is a comic by Dynamite Comics. As far as I know, it is an ongoing series. The writer on this comic is Ed Brisson, and the artist is George Cambadias, I think is how you say his last name. And as always, I don't like to give spoilers, but I will give you the description from the Dynamite website for the issue #1 plot summary, which is: in the nearby galaxy of Limbo, the deadly mob boss Monstar has escaped from his confinement on penal planet 10. He's looking to take revenge on everyone who put him there. At the top of that list is Commander Stargazer, the grizzled space cop who personally took Monstar down the last time he went on a rampage. To recapture Monstar and his gang of super criminal associates, Stargazer must put his retirement on hold and assemble a new team of his famed bionically enhanced law enforcers, the Silverhawks. Recruited from every corner of space, the Federal Interplanetary Force, the Silverhawks were engineered to be the first line of defense against Limbo's ruthless agents of chaos. Let me see. Now, as they take on the galaxy's deadliest lawbreakers, Stargazer's new team of untested cyborgs include Quicksilver, Bluegrass, Hotwing, Steel Will, Steelheart, and the Copper Kid will face the ultimate trial by fire. All right, and that's the Silverhawks summary for issue #1. It's actually very close to the pilot episode of the Silverhawks cartoon. Although I feel like the comic is actually adding a lot of depth to the Silverhawks, which wasn't there originally. I went back and watched the pilot after I read the first issue, and it's very similar in scope in a lot of ways, including Monstar breaking out of the planet, the prison planet, and Stargazer, who is retiring, has to kind of come back and reopen the Silverhawks program to go after him. It's a fun little cartoon series, fun comic. It's better than I remember because I haven't really kept up with Silverhawks in a long time. I remember watching it when I was a kid, but I never really. I think I loved Thundercats more, which Silverhawks was always compared to. And when I watched the pilot episode, I was like, oh my god, it's so Thundercats. Down to the villain like changing into another form, just like Mumra did. And I was like, it brought back a lot of memories because I hadn't watched it in a long time, but now I see why part of the same universe. Like, I had heard that there was a rumor that Dynamite might do a crossover with Thundercats and Silverhawks, which would be really cool. And I hope maybe they throw their other one in there, which was Tiger Sharks, which I don't know if that was by the same company or not, but that was always the three series that got compared to each other: Tiger Sharks, Silverhawks, and Thundercats. So maybe we'll see that crossover. As far as the story goes, it's a great number one issue, and like most number one issues, you don't get it. It's ends before it as it's starting to begin. So I feel like it didn't have enough of story. I love more. So I'm hooked. They left a nice hook at the end so that you come back for issue 2. I've always thought Ed Brisson was a solid writer. The only stuff I've read from him in the past, like he had a stint on Iron Fist for a while that was really good. And I really liked he did Batman Incorporated for DC Comics for a little while. It only lasted about 12 issues. That was really good. It had the Ghostmaker as the lead and, basically commanding all these different Batman. It was kind of cool to see him lead a Batman team, so, and I enjoyed that a lot. And then he most recently did a Thundercats special for Dynamite called Apex, which was really good and different angle for the Thundercats story. That was very interesting. Like, I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't read it, but check out Thundercats Apex if you're a Thundercats fan. And you may be like, wow, this is kind of cool. Like they're building something really good here. So check that out. So yeah, I enjoy Red Brisson, and I contacted him to be a part of PlasticCityComicCon this year, and he actually got back to me, which was good. He can't make it this year. He's already got other plans, but he asked me to keep him in the loop for next year and stuff. So we'll circle back. Maybe we'll get him as a guest in 2026. But back to the review. Let me talk about the art for a little bit. So George Cambadeas. So that's one weak part of this comic that George Cambadeas, I've seen his artwork. He did do when an IDW had the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon as a comic series. He was the artist on those mini series that they did. And for some reason, I thought his artwork was really good on those, but on this, it's very digital, and it doesn't. I don't know. I guess I wanted something more in the vein of the Thundercats comic artwork. I guess like when you want like I wanted more of like a superhero style artwork, where George has more of a animation style artwork. So I think it was just my preference. So I'm not really digging the artwork on this. And that's not to say that George isn't got some strengths. Like I said, I thought his stuff was really good on Dungeons and Dragons, but it feels a little out of place on Silverhawks. I feel like the story is strong enough that it pulled me through, and that I'm going to keep getting this book as long as it continues to come out. So hopefully it's a hit with people. Let me see, what else do I have here for notes? What I said earlier, that I felt like the comic had a little more depth and character development that the cartoon series didn't seem to have. Just judging on the pilot alone, like they just went right into it. Like you don't even get to know who these characters are, and it was kind of interesting. The comic will have a good payoff as it continues to go forward. I saw one person compared the story to the Untouchables in space, and I felt like this comic felt like that. Yeah, it felt like the Untouchables, because it's a group of cops, going after interplanetary villains. And we got to see Monstar in the first issue, and also one of his henchmen, Molecular, who's like a character that can shapeshift. I'd say too, throw in a little RoboCop in there, because at the end of the issue, they showing the cop that is eventually going to become Quicksilver, and it looks like his fate is almost like the way Murphy's was in RoboCop, where he's left in this exploding building, and then like you see him there, and it looks like only parts of him are going to survive, kind of like in RoboCop. And throw that description in there as well. The lettering was fine in this, although like the font size was a little big, and the balloons were okay, and the sound effects were okay, but like I don't know, just something was off with the lettering too. Normally it's fine, normally I don't notice lettering, but I think because I'm a letterer, I'm a little more hyper focused on lettering, and like when it's the design doesn't kind of fit the overall look of the book. That's just me being nitpicky though. It's not messy and it's not, you can read it fine. It's just visually, I think it looked a little off. So you won't notice it, and that's the sign of good lettering, is if you don't notice lettering. But like I said, I'm a letterer, so I notice stuff that, I would have done it a different way. Let's put it that way. But yeah, overall, I give Silverhawks a thumbs up. Besides its flaws, I think it's really worth picking up, and I think it's doing justice to the original IP, the cartoon, and they're taking what's there and then building upon it, which I think is really good. And maybe George's art will grow on me in the upcoming issues. The comic is $4.99. It's a standard 32 page count, and full color 32 pages, but I think that's with ads as well. And of course, there's a million covers. Like Dynamite is the worst with variant covers. There's at least, I counted like 20 here. It's like nuts. And they go through the whole alphabet and then some. It's crazy. So so Silverhawks, I'm loving, I gotta say, I love the retro stuff that's happening now in the industry. A lot of cool cartoon properties are back in comic form. Dynamite's doing most of them. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we will get the Thundercats, Silverhawks crossover, possibly with a hint of Tiger Sharks. That would be awesome. But that's it, everybody. This is, I'd say it's worth picking up if you're a Silverhawks fan. I don't know if you'll enjoy this if you didn't grow up with it. You might. I mean, it's done like a normal first issue, so you can follow everything that's happening. But I feel like if you don't have the nostalgia for it, this might not. I don't know. This might not click with you. Maybe it will. I don't know. Depends what you like for superhero books and things like that. So, but all right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in for this review. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And join us every other Monday for our live streams. Me, Johnny, Harry get together with a bunch of indie creators and we just talk shop and we just shoot the breeze. It's a lot of fun. So Monday nights at 9 p.m. we're going to be live the next 4 weeks in a row. So check that out. A lot of Kickstarters and crowdfunding coming up. All right, everybody. Thanks again for watching. We appreciate it. And read some comics, everybody. All right. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.